Alright, hello again everyone. I know it's been a while since the last video. Been a little busy. Today's video is going to be on proper food for your guinea pig. I know I've talked about doing one in the past and mentioned a few things here and there, but this is going to be kind of a in-depth, everything you need to know about it. So, to start off, your guinea pig is going to need pellet food. Probably about a quarter cup a day or so per pig. We have 9 guinea pigs now, so that's why they've got so much food here. Personally, I use the PetSmart brand. It's inexpensive. I buy it in bulk when it goes on sale. As you can see, 10-pound bags of it. You probably won't need that much if you only have a couple pigs. But wherever you get your pig from, I mean, they're probably using a pellet food. Just find out what kind and probably stick with that. If you do want to switch them over to something more generic, do it gradually. Mix their food half and half at first. Some pigs will reject a straight out change in diet like that. But the pellet food has all the basic nutrients and stuff that they need, and the one that I get is fortified with vitamin C, which they do need. Guinea pigs do not produce their own vitamin C, so they need some way to get it into their diet in order to be healthy. Next, you've got their hay. Guinea pigs are supposed to have an unlimited amount of fresh hay. Personally, I use the Oxbow brand because it is better. Tried a couple other brands and the guinea pigs don't like it. It's harder hay, or it's crunchier, and they just end up throwing it around their cage even more so than they already do. This was cleaned yesterday, so the mess that you see is just what they've done in the last 12 hours or so. You need some way for them to eat the hay, either a hay ball like this or a hay rack, something that goes on the side of the cage, keep the hay off the ground. Otherwise they'll just run through it and soil it and not want to eat it. As you can see, we stock up on hay when it goes on sale as well. That's a 90-ounce bag. That will last me, with 9 guinea pigs, probably about 2 to 3 weeks worth, and one of those 10-pound bags of food will also last me about 2 to 3 weeks. So we've got 2 to 3 months worth of food stockpiled right now. Your water, guinea pigs need fresh water. I go through probably about 1 liter a day. Each of these bottles is a 1 liter bottle. With fewer pigs, you'll obviously go through a lot less. Now, some people recommend using vitamin C drops in their water. I don't, for several reasons. One, vitamin C is sunlight activated, which means it breaks down in light. So as you can see, the bottles are clear. If you put vitamin C in there, it's going to break down really quick and end up being ineffective. So you'll have to change the water frequently, which is more work for you, and it gets more expensive putting the drops in every day. Number 2, it makes the water taste funny to the guinea pigs, and some guinea pigs won't drink as much because of it, and you want your pig to be able to drink as much as they want to. So don't put the vitamin drops in the water. It's a lazy way to get around it, but there are much better ways that are healthier for your pig. So we are going to go take a look now at fresh fruits and vegetables that you can offer your pig, portion sizes, and how to prepare them for them. Alright, so here we have a sampling of food that I feed my guinea pigs. I like to rotate through the things so that they get a little bit of variety in their diet. So I'm just going to go through one by one the benefits and downsides of each. Start with, every morning they get a head of romaine lettuce, one of those. So it's very important that you're getting the right kind of lettuce for your guinea pigs. There's only a few kinds that they can safely eat. The rest of them are poisonous. Romaine lettuce is one of the good things for them. Romaine lettuce hearts, they have a lot of vitamin C in them. They also have a lot of calcium and a lot of iron. So too much of it can actually lead to kidney stones in your guinea pigs, and you don't want to give them too much of it for that. So I give them 1 head a day, and the 9 of them share 1 head. I used to just put it in the cage, but got so many of them that they all couldn't get around it to eat it, so I usually end up peeling off leaves of it and laying them out so that they can each grab a leaf and drag it back to their hole to eat. If you have fewer guinea pigs, you can save it, let it last quite a while. It's got a decent shelf life on it compared with some of the other ones. Just put a couple leaves in there every day. They'll usually eat the whole thing, at least mine will, with no leftovers. You do need to check though. Give your pigs probably about 20 minutes or so to eat, and then if there are any remaining vegetables left in there, take them out and throw them away so that they don't go bad. This is a 6-pack that I get from Costco. It's $3, so not too expensive. At the grocery store, you get a 3-pack of them that are about half the size for the same price. Again, just depending on how many pigs you have and how cost conscious you want to be. There are ways to do this inexpensively. Next we have baby kale. Baby kale is very similar to the romaine lettuce in that it has a lot of vitamin C, so it's very good for your pigs, but it also has a lot of iron and a lot of calcium, which too much of it can lead to kidney stones for them. So again, same thing, in moderation. I try and rotate it through with other stuff so that they're not getting too much of it. Kale has a very short shelf life, so you always want to make sure you check the package when you get it. It takes me about 4 days to go through one of these bags, so I just put in a big handful right into the cage, and they all have a field day with it. Obviously with fewer pigs, you're probably going to have to find it in smaller quantities or eat some yourself. That is about $4 for the bag at Costco, so again, not too terribly expensive for what you get. Next we've got cucumbers. Cucumbers are good for your pig. They have very little nutritional value. They have a lot of water in them, so they're good to give your pig when it's hot out. Get some extra water into them, especially if it's slightly chilled, help them cool down. Personally, I get the English ones. Again, from Costco, this is about $3 for a 3-pack. They're a lot more expensive at the grocery store, and they're usually a lot smaller. But I will give them half of one every night. And the way I prepare these are, I'll cut it in half, and then I'll cut each half into thirds, so I end up with a few short round sections, and then I'll cut each of those thirds in half like a log, so I end up with 6 half logs. And I put those in their cage with the skin side up because they like to eat the skin first, and I found that if you end up putting the whole log in there, they'll eat the top half of the skin off, and you'll end up with a bunch of bottom halves of the logs not eaten in the cage. Cucumbers are something that they always eat all of, so I don't really have to take the extras out. They love cucumbers. You can give them those as much as they want. It's a very little nutritional value, but good treats. Your guinea pigs should love those. Next we've got carrots. Carrots I give them kind of rarely. Carrots have a lot of sugar in them, so too much of them can lead to diabetes in your pig. I try and rotate those out with the kale though. Again, with 9 pigs, usually 2 carrots is enough. I'll break them into thirds or fourths and just put the little pieces in there so that they all have a piece to go run home with. Carrots, they do sometimes leave extras of, so I have to go in and check under all their homes and pull out the extras, but I get a 10-pound bag of those for about $4.50, and that'll last a month, pulling out 1 or 2 carrots a day to give them. You can just put the whole thing in there. There's no prep that you have to do for the carrots. Next we have yellow bell peppers, which are personally the greatest vegetable to give them. They have the highest concentration of vitamin C, and they don't have anywhere near the high levels of iron and calcium that the lettuce and the kale do. So bell peppers are very, very good for meeting that vitamin C requirement. However, they are pretty expensive. I try and only get them when they go on sale for $1 a piece. Normally they're about $2 a piece, and one bell pepper will last one meal for my pigs. With fewer pigs, each pig probably only eats an eighth or a quarter of a bell pepper at a time, so you can save it and get a couple days use out of it. Bell peppers, though, you have to be very careful preparing. You have to make sure to cut out all the seeds inside. Otherwise your guinea pig can choke on the seeds, and you don't want that. So I recommend using a flensing knife, because it's going to let you get in there and scrape them out really well. And I'll show you what I mean in the next segment of this video. Let's talk about fruit for a second. You'll notice you don't see any here. That's because fruit, just like the carrots, has a lot of sugar in it, and it's not always the best thing to give to your guinea pig. It should be a very rare treat when you do give it to them, because you don't want them developing those health problems like diabetes or other things. Some things that are okay to give them are cantaloupe. Again, if you make sure to cut out all the seeds of it, just put a slice or two of cantaloupe in there, including the peel, and they'll usually eat the entire thing. They love chewing on the rind of it. It's good for their teeth, wears them down and keep the growth in check. Strawberries, again, those are an iffy thing. The strawberries do have little seeds in them. Some guinea pigs have difficulty with them. Mine personally don't like them that much. I've let them try them a few times, and they tend not to go for them, so I don't bother with them anymore. Some other fruits, obviously cucumber, but honeydew, very similar to cantaloupe. Just make sure you cut the seeds out, and you can put it in, rind and all. But again, in general, try and stay away from the fruits. It's more sugar than your pigs need. They'll be plenty happy if you give them any of these vegetables. Alright, so this is a fully prepared snack for them. As you can see, we've cut the bell pepper into about 8 equal sections. After washing it first, of course. Your guinea pigs don't want pesticides left over on the food any more than you do. And then we took the knife and we went in there and scraped out all the seeds that were stuck to the inside. So everything else can just go into the cage. We're going to go feed the pigs now and talk about a few things not to give them while we're watching them eat. Alright, so there are a few things that you probably want to avoid giving your guinea pig. Number one, bananas. If you haven't ever fed your guinea pig bananas, I would not recommend it. They are fine for most of them. However, some guinea pigs have an allergic reaction to them that is deadly, and there's obviously only one way to find that out, and that's not something that you want to find out. So don't give your guinea pig bananas. Again, it's a fruit, it's sugar, it's something they don't need. If you have fed them in the past, you can keep still doing that for treats, but I wouldn't recommend it. Vegetables like broccoli, they're okay to give your pig in small doses, but they do lead to gas for them and can lead to intestinal problems. So very rarely, very small doses. There are better foods to give them. Same thing with radishes. Radishes will do the same thing. They're not technically bad for them, but they can give them intestinal problems. So there's no reason to feed them radishes when there's other things available. Other types of peppers like orange or red bell peppers, your pigs probably won't go for them. Mine will eat orange bell peppers, they won't eat the red ones. They're not as sweet to them, and they also don't have the same nutritional value as far as the vitamin C goes on it. So, you know, don't bother with the other kinds of peppers. They'll be happy with the yellow ones if you give them that. As you can see, they're all enjoying it right now. Alfalfa is another dietary supplement that you probably want to avoid unless you have a baby guinea pig. It's good for growing guinea pigs because it's got a lot of the extra calcium in it. The older ones don't need it though, because they're obviously full grown, and the extra calcium can just lead to kidney stones and other problems. So you can get hay that has alfalfa supplements in it, but it's only recommended for young guinea pigs, and then switch them over to the regular hay as they get full grown. Most guinea pigs are graze feeders, similar to cats, meaning you can put out more food and they will only eat until they're full, not like a dog that'll keep eating until it's sick. Some guinea pigs don't know when to stop, and they end up getting fat. But the rest of them, they all kind of even out at the same weight, so there's no problem leaving extra food in the cage. Obviously, every pig is different, so just keep an eye on your pig. You want them to be as healthy and happy as possible, so adjust their diet accordingly. I guess it's worth mentioning that mine do get a lot of exercise since they have a huge cage to run around in. So I give them treats like these about 3 times a day in addition to all their other diet. The fresh vegetables, though, should not make up more than 20% of their diet. So you want to make sure they have plenty of other things to eat with it. If your pig is in a smaller cage or you don't necessarily get a chance to exercise them as often, they're probably not going to eat as much as I'm feeding mine. Anything else that you can think of for feeding a guinea pig, you can usually just look online. There are some great websites that I got a lot of this information from that'll give you the nutritional breakdown for it. How much vitamin C is in it versus the calcium and iron content, the things to feed them, things that are safe to feed them, and things that you just want to avoid. So if you're not sure, look it up. That's the safest way, but I think if you stick with these guidelines, you'll have quite a lot of variety that your pigs will enjoy.